Hello and welcome back to Nunchaku, where today I'll be giving you 5 tips on how to learn and or improve your nunchuck throws. So let's get right into it. Tip number 1 is to focus on momentum. This involves how quickly or slowly your nunchucks are spinning before you go into your throw. This is often overlooked but very important because the momentum will determine basically everything about your throw, including how high it will fly, how much it will rotate, and your ability to catch it. A great way of focusing and improving your momentum before you go into a throw is to perform a certain move before your throw each time. Take for instance your normal back grip to front grip controlled throw, where you are using a front grip to back grip wrist roll to go into your throw, and using that move you'll be able to build the right amount of momentum each time. Other things that you can use are for instance figure eights or just normal spins, because they will give you a solid entry point into your throw that will allow you to build the right amount of momentum before going into it. So by practicing a throw, not just on its own, but being led into by a different move, will allow you to consistently have the right amount of speed on your nunchuck. This leads us directly into tip number 2, which is to focus on the alignment of your nunchucks before the throw. Whereas momentum focuses on how quickly your nunchucks are moving, alignment focuses on where they are moving and how they're positioned before your throw. This is very important because if your nunchuck is off axis or crooked before going into your throw, it certainly won't get better in the air. While it is harder to adjust the position of your nunchuck while it is stationary and easier to adjust it while it is moving, to align your nunchucks properly involves the same process as having the right amount of momentum. So by leading into your throw with a previous move, it will allow you to not only have the right amount of momentum on your nunchucks, but also the right alignment each time. Having this consistent lead-in into your throws may at first seem like a waste of time. However, it is essential if you want to make your throws more consistent. Consistency is important because if you cannot catch your nunchucks consistently while practicing them on your own, you won't be able to perform them successfully in front of an audience. This leads me directly into tip number 3, which is the release part of the nunchuck, where you're letting go of the end in order to allow the nunchucks to spin through the air. This is usually the most delicate process that requires the most muscle memory in order to get down. Different throws require a different throwing mechanism to allow the nunchucks to rotate properly through the air. Therefore, it is essential that you learn to adjust your releases for each individual throw that you learn. Some throws may require you to guide the nunchuck along as it releases from your hand, whereas others may require you to push the nunchuck quickly from your hand in order to have the nunchuck rotate properly. The best way of practicing this is through practice, which is to perform each throw as many times as you can in order to get adjusted to the alignment before releasing the nunchuck. By going through the move over and over again, it will allow you to feel what kind of a throw is necessary in order to position the nunchucks in the proper way. Even if you're not quite certain on the catch portion of the throw yet, by performing it over a soft surface, it'll be more forgiving and allow you to really practice having the nunchuck fly through the air in a controlled manner. Next is tip number 4, which is to focus on the rotation of your nunchucks after you've thrown them. Rotation is important because it will determine how your nunchucks will fly through the air, how stable they will be in the air, as well as the catching portion of your throw. Having too little rotation in the air will make your nunchucks unstable as they're flying, so they will begin to tilt and wobble around in the air. However, having too much rotation will put too much energy into your nunchucks, which will also cause them to be less controllable before you throw them as well as in the air. Too much or too little will make the catch very difficult, as well as have your nunchucks fly in a more unstable pattern as they go through the air, which does not look as good. The best way of practicing this is to get a feel for how the rotation affects the positioning of the nunchucks. If you see that the nunchucks are under-rotating and beginning to move around as they are in the air and are not perfectly aligned like this as they rotate, then the next time try to add a bit more rotation to your throw. However, if your nunchucks are rotating too quickly, making it difficult for you to catch the move, then next time try to ease off a little bit and see how a less strong rotation will work. The final tip, which is tip number 5, involves the catching portion of your throw. The catch is generally believed to be the most difficult part of the throw. However, if you've done the first 4 parts right, then the catch should be much easier. This is because if your momentum, alignment, release, and rotation are all perfect, then all you should have to do is put your hand in front of your body and the nunchuck will fly right into it. However, because that is usually not the case, you will have to adjust your hand in order to allow the nunchuck to rotate into it properly. Most nunchuck catches happen in a way so that the nunchuck will rotate into your hand, allowing you to grab onto the nunchuck without much effort. When learning a throw, one of the best ways to practice catching is to use your eyes to trace one end of the nunchuck as it swings around in order to position your hand where it will spin. When you get a feel for this, you'll be able to see where the nunchuck is rotating and position your hand before the nunchuck gets there accordingly so that the nunchuck will rotate into your hand. However, once you've gotten a feel for your throws and have noticed how you've released your nunchuck and pick up on all these tiny little cues that will indicate how the nunchuck will rotate, you'll be able to perform throws without looking directly at your nunchucks. So in summary, throws have a bit of a learning curve to them because it is difficult to control an object that is floating around you and being thrown through the air. However, by sticking through the frustrating parts of continuing to try over and over again to learn a throw, you'll someday be able to get your first throw, and after that point, each throw that you learn after that will be much easier. To see my tutorials to a bunch of different throws, be sure to either click up here or check for the link in the description below. So I hope that you learned something today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials coming in the future, and go check out some of the other various nunchuck related tutorials that I have on my channel.